Well, welcome in, everyone, to Jefferson's for our first ever, the inaugural Coach Joel Taylor show here. We appreciate everybody coming out. We'll continue doing this live at Jefferson's every Monday night at 6:30. And, of course, to all the folks watching on UWG Athletics, we can't thank you enough either. Coach Taylor, welcome in. I know you've made plenty of public appearances since your hiring on December the 2nd, but nonetheless, always a great time to welcome you to Carrollton again.
Yeah, this is awesome. The crowd here is awesome. I appreciate everybody coming on out. A lot of excitement around the program. Glad to be here. West Georgia's on the rise. Just excited about this Saturday.
Well, let's talk a little bit about your off season. Hired in December, and obviously making the transition to Division I. You've got to move here. You got to hire a staff. You got to completely flip over a roster. Just talk a little bit about that process and how it's been going for you.
Yeah, the process has been awesome. I don't know, you guys know me. I'm all about process. I want to see the ending product, and I'm so excited about this Saturday, so we can kind of see a product on the field. But it's been a joy, and it's been I'm not going to say easy, but it's been very rewarding, right? Because of the people that I've been around. I'd start off with my leader, Jason Carmichael. He's been tremendous, been very supportive. It's awesome, got great intellect, great ideas. So just starting out with him, man, it's been freaking awesome, But got here December the 2nd, and the first thing, that I had to try to get done was I had to, rebuild the roster. We're coming from Division II, getting ready to go to Division I. So we wanted to really revamp that roster. So when we first got in here, December, we just kind of concentrated on transfers, right? We wanted to bring some transfers in because you couldn't bring high school kids in quite yet. And we brought in about 15 transfers, and I think we hit on all of them. And then we kind of turned our attention in January to the high school guys. And we were able to sign about 15 high school kids. And in both classes, when you're talking about the transfer and the freshman class, we were ranked top 10 in the nation. So we was here for a month and a half, and we were able to kind of put that together with a helter-skelter staff. So that
pretty impressive. I don't think that gets talked about enough. Recruiting is how you win football games.
It is. It's all about the Jimmys and Joes, and we all know that. So, but it's been awesome. I got an awesome staff, just putting that together, piecing that together. I got some really good men of character. My support staff is awesome. So we got really good people around our young men. I think that's probably the most important piece. So we kind of go through spring ball. I wanted to give everybody an opportunity to show me if they could play Division I football. And, we get out of there. We had to make some cuts. And then we kind of focused in on trying to get some more transfers in. And we brought in about 15 to 20 more transfers. So now as you're counting, that's probably about, 45 new faces. And that's not talking about walk-ons and things of that nature. So we have a whole new roster in a sense, right? We got some old guys, some old faces that I think is going to be, great for our team, going to be great contributors. But it's a new team, So as we went into the summer, we had about 95 guys there. That just tells you the excitement there. And I don't ever think West Georgia had 95 football players on campus, ever, okay? So, just to have those guys and, like I said, Mr. Carmichael providing us the resources to do those type of things, to, give us an opportunity to compete this first year, it's been tremendous and truly excited about it.
Well, your fall camp just ended last week and had the big scrimmage. Walk us through fall camp. You made the announcement a couple of days ago about the starting quarterback. Yep. I know that's always on everybody's mind. So a lot of fun decisions have been made in the last week or two.
Yeah, it has been, man. And fall camp has been great. You never know what you're going to get, right? You bring in all these new faces. You got to do a great job of implementing your system, the foundation, the culture, all those type of things. And then you're bringing in so many different people from different areas, like everybody got to be able to gel, So, as we start this thing, we started out kind of slow, man, but after that first week, I tell you what, man, our guys are really gelling together. And we actually did something different than I've ever did in the past, but it was to help us a little bit. And that was our practice structure. I'm a big organizer. I want everything in their place and things of that nature. But I'm always trying to get the most out of our kids each and every day. And I know back in the day, a lot of us we did 3 a days, we did 2 a days. They don't allow that no more. Okay, they just don't, right? So right now we get 1 a days. And usually what guys do or what programs do, they may set their time at 9 o'clock practice, 10 o'clock practice, and they do that every day, right? So you only get 24 hours to, recover, things of that nature, once you get done. So what we did this year was we did a 4-day format, in a sense. So we practice in the morning time, all right? The next practice, second practice would be in the evening time, the afternoon time, and then the third practice would be in the evening time, then we give those guys a day off. So by us practicing in the morning, afternoon, and night, those guys are able to get off their feet a little bit longer, right, to recover, right? So when you talk about those soft tissue injuries, things of that nature, you're giving those guys an opportunity, to recover for those type of things. But also we're going to play at 6 o'clock, we're going to play at 2 o'clock, so now we're giving those guys an opportunity to jumpstart their bodies, understand, hey, if I got to practice at this time, hey, I got to do this, I got to do that. And then the next thing was it was kind of, letting those guys know, because sometimes you got to really talk to those kids to get the most out of them. Like, you got to kind of bargain with them a little bit, So my bargain was, man, you give me 3 days, you get an off day. You know what I mean? You give me 3 days, you get an off day, So, but
I think I could get behind that schedule, 3 days and then.
You know what I mean? Shoot, let me tell you what, if I could do that as work right now, I'm all in, okay? But I really think that really benefited us. We didn't have, too many injuries, especially soft tissue injuries. And I think our guys were fresh. I thought we got a lot of our practices. I think we got a lot of work done. Now, we did have a short camp, with us starting school on the 14th. It was probably the shortest camp I've ever been a part of. But our guys didn't blink, man. They've done a phenomenal job. I think, like I said, our staff has done a phenomenal job teaching those guys coming in extra, and just all those little things, man, to be good.
We're talking to head coach Joel Taylor of our West Georgia Wolves here at Jefferson's. A couple more questions in this first segment, Coach. Talk a little bit about your coaching staff. Give us some names of the guys that we'll be seeing beside you. I know with 95 guys, you can't do it all yourself, and you got to have some great support. So talk a little bit about your staff.
There's no doubt. I'll start on the offense side of the ball, and like I said, I'm nothing without those guys, man. Those guys are freaking awesome. They work their fannies off, and they're some of the best coaches I've been around. But I'll start on the offense side of the ball. I want to start with Dane Stevens, our coordinator. Dane came from Ole Miss, probably one of the brightest minds in the game. I think Dane's about 28 years old. This is his first coordinator job. And I'm going to tell you a quick story. So, as I was doing the hiring process, everybody was asking me, what type of offense you want to run? What type of offense you want to run? I said, you know what? I want to run an offense that can score points. Okay? That's what I want, It didn't have to be a two-back offense, spread offense. I just want to score points.
Just put points on the board.
That is it, right? And we want to win. And Dane was actually the last guy. Like, I didn't know Dane. Somebody taught me into interviewing him. I had 4 guys, and he was the last one. And let me tell you what, when he came in there, he knocked our socks off. All right.
All gas, no brakes, right?
All gas, no brakes, man. And the first thing he said, Coach, we're gonna run the ball. And I was like, I'm in. So, but Dane is extremely smart, extremely organized. Like I said, he's one of the brightest minds. I think they had like organization did, the top, 30 coaches under 30. I think he was like 20th, and I'm talking about that's FBS, FCS, that's everything. So I'm really excited what he's going to do for our offense this year. Next guy, I think Austin Davis, our offensive line coach, right? And y'all going to hear me talk about our offensive line a lot. Okay, because without them, we ain't nothing. I'm gonna tell you that for a fact. But he does a tremendous job building relationships. Tremendous teacher. He came from that Dave Cutcliffe staff, that lineage, and he know how to do it the right way. And truly excited about him. Then we have Reed Sanders, our running back coach. Reed. He's from Atlanta. He's been around different colleges. He just came as a high school coach in California. I think he went 9-3. I think he was coach of the year, things of that nature. So he has a nice little energy as far as his coaching background. Next guy I'll add will be David Whitlow, our wide receivers coach. Tremendous recruiter, tremendous young coach. Brings a lot of enthusiasm, a lot of energy to our office and our kids. And I think, our wide receiver group is one of our talented groups, So I'm excited to see what those guys do. And then Barry Brown, we call him Downtown Barry Brown, okay? Barry came with me from Mercer, and I noticed Barry. Barry was a volunteer assistant for us at Mercer, and all I did was notice him work, right, and how intelligent he was, and I knew I had something in him. And he has not, he's not proven me, he's proven me right. And he's freaking awesome. He's a great young coach, and I'm excited about him. And then on the defense side of the ball, I guess I'll start with my coordinator as well, Brian Landis. Brian Landis, tremendous human being, tremendous ball coach, very, very smart. Got a lot of dang on history just as far as in the state of Georgia. He coached at Georgia State, so he knows the state as far as recruiting. Excited about him. So he's done a tremendous job for us coming in, learning our kids, pushing our kids, and making them better every single day. Next guy I'll go with is Sumner Ellis. Sumner Ellis is our defensive line coach, and Coach Ellis is also our recruiting coordinator. All right, so he's the one that puts on all the visits, puts everything together as far as the recruiting piece. He's a big part of our recruiting, dominance, I should say. But he's freaking awesome. He came with me from Mercer as well. He was my outside linebackers coach at Mercer, and he's the man. He's the man. Next guy I'll go with is Brandon Taylor. Brandon Taylor is our outside linebackers coach. He's also our special teams coordinator. Brandon came from Florida, but before that, he came from LSU. If y'all ever come to our practices, you see our special teams. When I say they're organized, right, and getting all them reps, man, it is awesome what he does, right? He's awesome. So I'm excited about him as well. Then the next guy would be Coach Tevez Calhoun. Coach Tevez Calhoun, young coach, played at Mississippi State, played in the league a little bit. Very, very passionate. Coaches this guy really hard, very detailed. So really, really excited about him. So that'll be the coaching staff there.
That's a very impressive. Just named them off and just love them all.
Love them all. And don't forget, I got some volunteer assistants, man. I got lucky with this guy. I ain't gonna lie to you. So some of you guys probably heard of him. JT Daniels. All right, JT Daniels is working. He's serving as the assistant quarterbacks coach. And JT Daniels, when I talk about smart, I'm talking about smart. Like he is really, really smart, man. And him and Dane, let me tell you what, when they start talking, I leave the room because I'm not smart enough for those guys, So that's pretty cool. And then I got one more volunteer assistant named Rodman Noel. Rodman played in the league. He's been a full-time coach at the FCS level. So really glad to have him as well.
I had a couple people that told me to ask you this, so this is a fun question. Last couple months, and we'll wrap up this first segment and get to our fan questions here in just a second for you, Coach, but house hunters, right?
Oh.
House hunters. I know. You got to talk about it a little bit. How fun has that been shooting that over the last couple of months?
Yeah. House Hunter was cool. They came down for about a week and we shot, and it was really, really cool to kind of see from behind the lens. So it was really cool. Didn't think my wife at the time. I say at the time, my wife.
Careful now, careful.
My wife said, well, I'm going to sign a sub, but we're not going to get picked. And I was like, we're going to get picked. No, we're not. I said, we're going to get picked. And, sure enough, they called the next day and picked us, man. And like I said, it was really, really cool just to go through that process. And, I was more happy of just finding a house, We didn't find that house until late May, early June, So for us, I got hired in December, so I was staying in Greek Row, for about 5 months, living a good life. So it was just exciting to kind of, finally get a place. And I think they back to the Trits. They helped us out. Mary, appreciate you, Mary. Yep. So they was our realtors and they helped us out. So that was awesome.
Well, this has been our first segment with Coach Joel Taylor here at Jefferson's Restaurant. We appreciate everybody coming out. We'll be right back with some fan questions right after this. We're back here for segment 2 of our Coach Joel Taylor show here at Jefferson's Restaurant. Appreciate everybody coming out. We'd love to involve the fans. There's a great group tonight that's come out. I see a lot of great community members, some students, faculty. We appreciate you all coming out. If y'all want to just raise your hand if you got a question, would love for you guys to be able to ask some questions to our head ball coach. So we'll see where we go. All right. I know who she is. Go ahead, Carly.
Hello. So what's something, like looking towards the game this Saturday, what's something about Sanford that you guys are trying to prepare for that's different from any other team?
Tempo. They go really, 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 really fast. I've been doing this for 20 years now, and they're probably, out of one or two fastest I've ever faced. So they do a really good job. They understand what they're doing. They're very efficient offensively. Coach Hatcher has been running that offense for probably as long as I've been living, I'll be honest, but they do a really good job on offense, so that's probably the number one thing defensively that we got to stop.
Y'all might set a record for most plays in a game between the two y'all coming up on Saturday.
There's no doubt.
Between y'all going fast and Sanford going fast. Who we got?
Randy Perkins. With us, not that we couldn't earn the right to be in the playoffs, but we can't go to a playoff, is my understanding. Does that hurt you in any way recruiting?
Oh, that's a great question, right? That's the first thing people use versus, honestly. But at the end of the day, I think kids, what we sold our young people was you get a chance to build a legacy. At the end of the day, you'll be the first to do it. But that is definitely a point that people try to knock us on. And the only way we can actually change that is by winning. Okay? I think it's an archaic rule. That's just my opinion. But the only way you can change it is by winning and causing the discussion.
Mr. Bo Bass.
So we know that Sanford is fast-paced on offense. What do they look like on defense?
All right, so they actually got a new defensive coordinator. He's coming from Tennessee Tech. He did a fine job at Tennessee Tech. I think he had a top 25 defense at Tennessee Tech. Those guys play hard. They're very, very similar to, I guess what we did at Mercer a little bit as far as they were a two-high team, quarters base, a little bit of bracket to the field. So they're a 4-2-5 outfit. If I know anything from him, his kids are going to play hard. Now I do think they'll have probably some, first game mistakes, things of that nature. Hopefully we can capitalize on. But they're 4-2-5. They're going to play hard. They're going to play some quarters base. They'll blitz. If they blitz a little bit, it'll probably be too off an edge, stuff like that. But it'll be majority quarters base.
They coached Gary Watson, class of 71. As you were reshaping your roster and had to make some of those cuts that you were talking about, how difficult was that talking to kids who had been in the program 1 year, 2 years, 3 years or more?
Yep. Hey, that's another great question, and definitely tough conversations. It really was, But at the end of the day, I felt that I gave everybody an opportunity, and at the end of the day, it was an evaluation. It was an evaluation on the field. It was an evaluation off the field. It was an evaluation academically. During those conversations, they're tough, right? But I think they will grow from it as we will grow from it. But at the end of the day, it's my job to, field the best team and get the best people, in our organization, so we can then go take this to the next level.
Judah White here. Who do you think are some key players to watch for as we go through this game?
Man, that's another great question. All right, so I'll start on the offense side of the ball. All right, so we named our starting quarterback Davin Wagner. So Davin, man, he's 6'4", 6'5", got a big arm. And when you look at him, you don't think he can run, but he can run. Okay, so he does a really good job of extending the pocket. So I'm excited about him. I'm excited about his leadership. He has 3 more years left, so we're going to have him for a while, and I think he's going to break a lot of records here, honestly. The next guy, and I think, we have a stable of these guys, is the running back room. In the running back room, we have Jace Mosley. You guys probably are familiar with Jace. He was a first-team all-conference player for us last year. So Jace is going to tote that tater, and then we got some guys behind him that I think are going to be really good players as well. I think Chase Belcher, I call him my Swiss Army knife. He can split out, catch some balls, get in the backfield, run the rock, and then we got Latrell Morrell. Latrell was a freshman last year. I think Latrell, he redshirted last year, but he probably got more ability than both those guys. So those are key guys there. Offensively, I think we got a big time recruit in Carmelo English. Carmelo actually played 7 games at Michigan last year, so I'm kind of excited to see what he does. But we have a deep room as far as in the wide receiver room. Next guy I kind of say behind Carmelo would be T.J. Lockley. TJ is a Jacksonville State transfer. He was here last year on the
Big plays last year for us.
He did. So he's shown tremendous leadership, tremendous growth, and he can run. He can run, man. And then I think we got a really talented tight end room. You're talking about 3 guys that I think can start on any football team in our conference. You have Bryce Dickerson, you got Sed Sebro, and then you have Eshawn Mays. Every last one of them can start in our conference. All right, so I'm excited about them. And then offensive line-wise, I'm excited about the offensive line, man. I think we got about 7 to 8 guys that you can throw in there, and you ain't gonna blink. So I'm excited about those guys, and the guy that's going to spearhead it will be Brevin Jones and Sam Regina. Those 2 guys there, and I think that's it on the offensive side of the ball. Defensive side of the ball, defensively, on defensive line, we got some really good players there. We do. I kind of started off with Malik Charles. Malik Charles has pro talent. When he walks through the door, you'd be like, yep, he plays football, okay? He's a big kid that can run, man. He's 260 pounds, 6'4". He'll go out there and run you a 4.5 in a heartbeat, man. He's a really good football player. And he's a good person, man. He's one of the best human beings I've been around, man. He's a really good dude. He's on our leadership council, so I'm excited about him. Kind of going inside, we got 2 guys in the interior that I'm excited about. I'll be honest, 3 guys, okay? 1 guy's from Carrollton. The guy from Carrollton is Robert Johnson. Robert, I think he graduated 3 years ago. Robert actually started for me at Mercer when I was at Mercer. And then he came here to West Georgia, so I'm excited about him. We got another guy, Nehemiah. We call him Nemo. Nemo's a transfer from Northern Arizona. He started there, really, really good player. And then the last guy would be, we call Warren Tayu. It's Warren Stevens Tayu. Warren is awesome, man. He's one of our leaders on Leadership Council as well, does a really phenomenal job for us. So we're pretty good up front. Outside linebacker-wise, I think we're pretty special there as well, honestly. We got 1 young man, Festus Davies. I think he's going to rip every dang on record there is here, right? If he stays here all year, he's going to take every one, okay? Really, really excited about him. He's done a phenomenal job this offseason, man. And I know I'm bragging on these guys. I apologize.
No, don't apologize for bragging on your kids.
Yeah, man. I know. I'm taking a while, but I got to do it. But he's done a phenomenal job, man. He made 2 A's in dang on summer school, so he's doing a really good job, man. But he got a lot of ability. And then the guy behind him is Mason Huntley. Mason Huntley, man, let me tell you what, I call him the junkyard dog. He just goes, man, and he is really talented off the edge. So we got 2 stand-up guys that are really talented and we're excited about. Linebacker-wise, the guy that I'm excited about is a kid by the name of Jay Carter. Jay Carter, I think, redshirted last year, or he might have played a couple games last year, but I'm excited about him. At the safety-wise, I'm excited about Jabron Claude. Jabron's one of our team captains, and also Malachi Williams. Malachi Williams is going to start at our boundary safety, Jabron the field safety. Malachi's a part of our leadership council as well. Big-time hitter, okay? So y'all going to see a lot of big hits from him. I'm excited about him. And then on the edges, I'm probably more excited about these 2 guys than any, honestly. Just where they came from the spring to the fall now. You got Carson Yancey. He'll start at our field corner. Carson's kind of undersized, man, but let me tell you what, he always finds a way to get it done, man. He's a really good player, really smart. Excited about him. And then we have Kiari McGlure. Kiari didn't have a great spring. He really didn't. Didn't have a great spring. We had a tough conversation, and he came back, man, like a new man, okay? So we're excited about him, man. He's going to start that boundary quarter for us, and I think that's pretty much it. Oh, nope, I'm sorry. I can't. Hey, my specialist. Got to go my specialist. All right, my specialist, we got Riley Mason. I think Riley Mason's probably one of the most talented punters I've been around. Has a tremendous leg, so he's definitely going to be a weapon for us. And then I think Chase Gagnall is going to start at kickoff. And then we're still trying to figure out, is it going to be Mason Maddox or Tyler Davalos as our kickoff guy. So we're excited about our team.
Good competition.
Great competition.
Good competition there. We'll take one more question from a fan if anybody has one, and we will move on and talk a little bit about Sanford in our 3rd segment.
Hey, Coach Taylor. So I help assist Madison with the grad assistant area, and
awesome.
It's been super fun. I've only been there since Friday, so I've only seen maybe 3 practices, but it's like a military, like it's amazing. my uncle's Eric Zier, and so I grew up watching him play and coach his sons, and it's amazing. I mean, he has two older sons playing in the hockey league, and then he has 3 little boys under the age of 10 that are like just now getting into football. And anyways, it's been fun getting to see this team work together. And I guess my question for you is just with these new transfer guys coming in from like Michigan, Auburn, and all these amazing, powerful schools. How do you think that's affecting team chemistry with the returning guys like Quincy and other guys that are expecting that starting position and having to fight for their role? How do you think that's going to affect team chemistry going into this first game?
Well, we're going to have to I guess, have that conversation every year, because we're going to do the same thing every year. You know, I think anytime you're bringing in players, right, you're trying to lay raise the competition level. You know, but at the end of the day, you know, competition breeds, I think, great team chemistry. You know, it makes us all better, and I think all those guys that came in have made us better. I think we're gelling right at the right time as a team. So it's been great, honestly. It's been great, you know. But, you know, like I say, at first, nobody knows each other. Nobody want to say anything. You know, they look at each other. They get one of them, right? You know, but now everybody's there going, ha, 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 kiki. They joking at each other, man. So it's been really, really good just to see that transformation, you know, from when the guys first got there to where it is now. So I'm excited about our team, and all the guys are part of our team.
Awesome question. Thank you guys so much. We'll do this once again every week with the fans, so appreciate you all participating. We'll take one quick timeout, last timeout, get into our third segment and talk about the Sanford Bulldogs taking on the West Georgia Wolves on Saturday at 6 o'clock at University Stadium. Can't wait. Be right back right after this. All right, welcome back into Jefferson's Restaurant. Hey, let's give a round of applause and a thank you to all the great servers and the staff here at Jefferson's. We truly appreciate them and their partnership, and they got pretty good wings and burgers too.
Yeah, Jefferson got good food now. I think this might have been the first spot I went to in Carrollton.
So we appreciate them for allowing us to be at this great location, and coming up here in the fall on Saturdays, you're going to be able to watch TV here on this back screen. Maybe put the Wolves game on. Hopefully, we'll see. We'll see. You never know. All right, let's talk Sanford. Everybody is so excited. We got fireworks. We got Red Out. We got all kinds of great stuff happening on Saturday. But there's a football game.
It is.
And obviously, Sanford is always, you know, top 25 opponent. More than likely last year, up and down season for them, but. Consistent offensive-wise, you know what you're going to get with Chris Hatcher. Yep. They're going to run 80 plays a game and throw it around the yard pretty much, right? Yeah.
They are. You know, Sanford, and I think Chris Hatcher does a phenomenal job. And I think Chris Hatcher, he better watch out, man. I think some West Georgia fans are still upset about that loss back in the day, you know, that undefeated season. But, you know, Chris, you know, coached at Valdosta State, which was, you know, one of our rivals, man. But Chris is a great human. I call him a friend in the profession. He's done a phenomenal job with his team and has a ton of experience, really does. And he's done a really good job. And I think this might be this is year 10, has to be. So I have faced Chris Hatcher 9 out of the 10 years. So, you know.
So there's some familiarity there.
Just a little bit. So the one thing about Chris, man, I like to call him the quarterback whisperer. He does a phenomenal job with quarterbacks. I think the last 3 quarterbacks he's had, all of them were, you know, Walter Payton Award finalists or won it, one of the two. You know, started out with Dalvin Hodges. I don't know if everybody remember that guy, the Duck Man. I think he played with the Steelers for a little bit. Then after him, I can't remember the guy's name. It was number 7. I know his last name was Liam. I mean, tremendous quarterback, just putting the ball in the right places and running that offense. And then last year he had Harris for the last 2 years. He made my life hell. I ain't gonna lie to you now. Like, man, he was a really good quarterback. But he does a really good job with the quarterbacks. And the guy that he has there now, he's a young man that actually started 2 games for him. So in I think it was the 2021 or 22 season, Sanford had won the league. okay? They won the league, and we were actually the last game of the year, and we should have won this game. But the last play of the game, we actually smoked the quarterback and hurt Liam. Not Liam, but hurt Ayers. So he was out, and that kid went out and actually won him a playoff game and started versus North Dakota State. You know, so the kid has experience. He has enough gumption about him to run the offense. The one thing that's different about him than the other quarterbacks were probably more passers. He can pass the ball, don't get it twisted, does a good job of getting the ball out, but he's a runner, right? Once he puts his foot in the ground, he can go. You know, so we got to do a great job of containing him. Got to do a great job of keeping the ball in front of us. And another thing, you know, Hatch does a really good job of, he recruits really good skill players, right? I think the last skill player he had was, I think his name is Montrez Washington. I think he's playing for the Cardinals now, you know what I mean? And the year before that, it was, you know, McKnight. Like, I mean, those kids are just tremendous football players. So we got to do a great job of tackling in space, game tackling, you know, just keeping everything in front of us, man. So from an offensive standpoint, they're going to do what they do. They don't do anything just crazy. They ain't around no crazy formations. They're going to be some 2x2 doubles. He might then going to have an attached tight end from time to time, run some 3x1 trips. You know, bring another attached tight end and trips, and that's what he's going to do, man. He might get him 12 personnel if he got some tight ends this year, but he is coming back with a different team. Okay, I think they only have 6 starters, but you know, the quarterback's gone, the running back's gone, the wide receiver's gone. So there's some pieces that he got to find out himself. You know, but I know he does a great job of recruiting. All right, so we'll be ready for it. We'll be ready for the defensively, and we're excited about the challenge. You know, the one thing everybody asks me, Coach, are you excited? Yes. Right. What's going to happen? I don't know. I don't know. We've been facing each other. We've been getting better every day, but I want to see where we are. I want to see where we are, and this is a great matchup to see that, right? You're talking about one of the best teams in the SoCon, and we all know the SoCon's a great conference. So I'm excited about this challenge, to face them defensively, and, let's get this thing rocking and rolling.
You talked a little bit defensively. They got a new defensive coordinator from Tennessee Tech. He's had a couple of top 25 defenses while being there.
Yep.
What do we expect to see from them from the offensive side of the ball?
From defense side of the ball.
Yes, from the defense side of the ball.
So as far as, just impact players, the impact player for them would be, number 5. I think his name is Noah. The last name is escaping me. Noah Martin. All right, so Noah Martin. I've seen Noah Martin for the last 3 years. Okay, I hope this is the last year I see him. Okay, all right. He is a really good player. He actually played like their Sam backer for the last 3 years. Now they moved him to the mic, so they put him in the middle of the defense. So he's an older kid that can run that defense. He can run sideline to sideline, so he'll make a lot of plays. He will, But we got to do a great job of getting some combo blocks up to him and occupying him, so we can get loose. Up front, I think they're solid. I actually know the defensive line coach. I know how he coaches. So those guys are going to play hard. Our offensive line got to do a great job there. But I think our offensive line seemed better, and then in the secondary wise, they got new guys back there, so they'll be a little bit young in the secondary. But at the end of the day, I think it's just a whole new defense. So all of them are technically young. Hopefully we can, take advantage of some of their mishaps if they have any mishaps. But at the end of the day, I think it's going to be a great game on both sides of the ball. Their defense starts to top our offense. Our defense starts to top their offense.
Well, Coach, as we get ready for Saturday, what's going to take for the Wolves to get out of University Stadium with a victory?
I'm going to tell you this, man. All right, so when we talk to our kids, right, this is our plan of victory. This is every week, right? So when you ask me this next week, I'm going to say the same exact thing, okay? All right. So the first one is we got to affect the quarterback. Got to, right? We got to affect the quarterback, and we got to protect our quarterback, okay? Then the next thing is, all right, it's all about the ball, right? We got to go get the ball. We got to go take the ball, right? And we got to what? Keep the ball, okay? Then the next thing is we got to play great in situational football, right? When you're talking about end of the game, end of the half situations, you're talking about third down, talking about short yardage, goal line, red zone. We have to play great in those type of environments, okay? And then the last thing is all about execution, Okay? At the end of the day, it's so hard to beat an offense, but we can't beat ourselves. Right? We got to execute. We call it sins. We can't have self-inflicted negatives. Okay? Just got to play a good brand of football. That's what we got to do.
Like it, Coach. 6 o'clock Saturday. Are you excited?
Very.
If you haven't said that a couple of times
Yes,
already,
very.
he's very, very excited. We're excited. Wolf fans, y'all excited? Yeah, we're super excited. Sanford and our Wolves coming up on Saturday night, 6 o'clock. Be there. No excuses. Be there. Get there early. Be loud. Wolf Walk 90 minutes before kickoff, I believe. So there's a lot to do. Check out UWG Athletics, and they will tell you everything you need to know about Saturday.
There's no doubt.
No doubt. So thank you all for listening to the inaugural Coach Joel Taylor show. We'll be back here same time, same place next week.